Hi, I'm Rod King. This is a presentation on rapid organizational improvement. To rapidly improve the performance of any organization, we must first know how the organization works. In other words, we must know the business model of the organization. But what is a business model? In simple terms, a business model describes how an organization works to create, deliver, and exchange value while creating profit or shared value. A simpler way to look at the definition of a business model is that it is a tool or system for viably eliminating the pain of stakeholders, especially customers. I have looked at several business models in the literature and have discovered that the business model of every organization belongs to one of two categories. On the one hand, you have pipe business models, and on the other hand, you have platform business models. These two types of business models are illustrated in a business model classification system that I developed. For pipe business models, you have what's described as one-sided market. That is, you have customers who have only one job to be done or goal. On the other hand, you have a platform business model which can be distinguished into two-sided markets or multi-sided markets. Two-sided markets deal with two types of customers, whereas multi-sided markets deal with three or more customers. An example of a one-sided market is a lemonade stand where the proprietor sells lemonade to people who are thirsty. Whereas an example of a two-sided market is a bank which deals with people who deposit money and people who borrow money from the bank. And a simple example of a multi-sided market is a shopping mall whereby the infrastructure is provided so that businesses can rent space there and have different types of customers in the shopping mall. The other distinction between a pipe business model and a platform business model is that a pipe business model is linear. It can be represented by a line, whereas a platform business model is non-linear and it can be represented by a V or a diamond shape. I call the V shape a valley, whereas the diamond shape can be in the form of a tetrahedron. There are many ways to visualize business models, but the most popular tools today are the business model canvas and the lean canvas. But these tools are complex and time-consuming to learn as well as master. But what if there was a simple and visual universal language for instantly visualizing and documenting any business model? Well, the good news is that I have come up with an invention which I call the C.O.P.S diamond that enables anyone to instantly visualize and document any business model on the planet. The form of the C.O.P.S diamond is that it focuses on the four edges of a diamond, and the four edges can be summarized using the acronym C.O.P.S. C for customers, O for other parties, P for provider, and S for suppliers. These are the four types of stakeholders that you can have in any business model. So the provider is the owner of the pipe or platform, although it could be any of these depending on whom you are focusing. What I had said before was that a business model is a pain-solving tool. So in practical situations, it's good to focus on the pain or delight of your most important customers or stakeholders. After focusing on the pain, then you should decide how to eliminate that pain, and it may be expressed in a mission statement or what is described as the job to get done. And to complete the definition of your mission statement or the job to be done, you should state where exactly these activities are going to take place. So we have talked about a pipe business model and a platform business model. The simplest way to represent a pipe business model is what I call a business model strip. And it's just a line with two opposing arrows at the end, as you can see in the relationship between the provider and the customer. So the line with two opposing arrows can be called a business model strip or a pipe business model. Examples include a traditional motel which caters for one type of customers, or if you could remember Nike at the beginning, they only sold shoes. So businesses that deal with one type of products can be called pipe business models. So the provider needs to have resources, processes, and values in order to deliver an output for its customers. But the product alone does not suffice. The provider has to obtain channels and develop relationships so that they can adequately serve customers. And the customers in return have got to provide feedback or exchange, which may be money or their experience or some sort of information. So this would completely describe the pipe business model between a provider and customer. So this is what a pipe business model would look like without annotation. So the next thing that we are going to look at is a platform business model. And the simplest form of a platform business model has a V shape. And in this case, we insert a business model strip between the provider and the category of stakeholders known as other parties. This is a platform model, but it's multisided. And an example of a multisided business model or platform would be a hospital, or like recent mega businesses such as Wikipedia or Uber or even the iPhone. So these are examples of multisided markets or platforms. The ideal case of a multisided platform is when all the stakeholders are connected, as you can see in this diagram. So the arrows need a little bit of explanation, and they can denote either input or output. And what I have done is to summarize using an acronym of PIGS: product, information, goods, services, to indicate all what the arrows can represent. So now let's look at the C.O.P.S diamond of a non-profit organization. I have decided to focus on non